So, I made my first return back to the movie theater since November 2019. This time, the movie theater experience has changed. I, for one, said I was not going to, let's say, be a part of the new movie theater experience, but I decided, against my better judgment, to do it anyway. Wonder Woman 84 was the target for my newest review. A review, or better yet, again, I haven't done a review in so long. So I said, why not? And why not a better way to conclude my DCU week, I guess. So, like I said, movie theater experience has changed. I'd rather have went to the movie theater than still watching this movie on HBO Max. Because one, I don't have HBO Max. And one, or two, I don't want HBO Max. So I decided to do the old-fashioned thing, go to the movie theater. Much to my surprise, there was a lot of people there. Actually, my show was sold out, barring social distancing, but still, there was a lot of people in there. I was quite amazed. So a lot of people said, F HBO Max, I'm gonna watch this in the movie theater. Which there's no problem with. I don't get when people say there's not a lot of people going to the movie theater before the corona started. Every movie theater I went to, barring from earlier in the year, last year, to November 2019, there was always a lot of people in the movie theater. Last movie I went to go see in the movie theater was actually Rise of Skywalker. Of course, a lot of people went to go see that. Before that, it was Ferrari versus Ford, which a lot of people did show up to. So the whole thing in the movie theater is going down. I don't know. Maybe it depends on what city you live in. I live in the fifth largest city in the U.S. There's always going to be a lot of people going to movie theaters out here. Sucky or not. But, my movie theater experience this time around was quite enjoyable. Meaning the people I was in. There was no one talking. Not a lot of laughter. Not a phone, babies going off, none of that. I remember back in 2018, Halloween 2018 actually. The movie Halloween 2018 as they call it, or whatever it's called. That was probably the worst movie experience I ever had. Kids talking, people laughing. But enough about the past. Let's get down to Wonder Woman 84. Whew. There's so many things I can say about this movie. It's more a reflection, not so much a review, but still spoilers for anybody who doesn't want to see it. So there's spoilers, so if you have HBO Max or go watch it on bootleg, then do that, and then come back to the review. But for anyone who doesn't care to see it, who's going to see it regardless of watching this actual review or reflection, as I call it, here we go. I don't know where to start. There's so many things that went on with this movie. Let's start with the running time. 2 hours and 30 minutes. That 2 hours and 30 minutes can be shut down to an hour and 30. Maybe an hour and 45. This movie dragged on for a long time. In the beginning, they went back to when Diana was a little girl. And that took forever to explain. Probably about 10-15 minutes of her running in a race. But it had a point to it. She cheated in the race. And mother told her, can't be a hero if you're lying, basically. Which is pretty much the plot of the movie, but that just took too long for me. I always forget I was watching the movie. But most of this movie is run in dialogue. Lots of dialogue and character development. Sometimes the character development was useless because it didn't really add up to anything. Or just made these characters even cornier. The first action sequence in this movie was a Karen's wet dream. It was in a mall. It was quite something about this whole action scene was just off to me. For anybody who's out there has seen this movie already, it was very off. I don't know what it was. It was special effects. I think it was the special effects. Something that was just off, and it was very cringe worthy. And then after that, the movie goes slow again, introducing our new characters. There really weren't that many new characters in this movie to come to think about it. Where we're getting introduced to Cheetah and Maxwell Lord, and much of Maxwell Lord is played by Pedro Pascal, aka the Mandalorian. They were very cringeworthy. Every scene that he had was very cringeworthy. And he was like a crackhead, basically. Especially, spoiler alert once again, once he got a hold of his power, he became very crackheadish. And it's something about DC when they bring in Maxwell Lord. I don't know, sometimes they never get him. For what I've read, the first time I ever read him was in can't even think of one of the Crisis, the newest Crisis. Not the final Crisis, one before that. I can't think of her name right now, it's off the top of my head. I want to say Infinity Crisis, but I don't think it is that. I think it's the Infinity Crisis, but the one when he takes over the OMAC and basically starts going crazy and all that, and he forces Superman to fight Batman, and yeah. They tried to do that with this a little bit. Just a little bit. He gets a hold of a monkey's paw kind of thing, and he can grant wishes, like a genie, and it turns him into a crackhead. Yes, a crackhead, and he grants the wishes of pretty much everybody in the film. And as we all know, Steven Trevor is back, and I can't say actually this whole plot for this whole movie was actually revealed to me about a year ago. That this movie is going to be surrounded by a monkey paw collected by Maxwell Lord, and he grants wishes. And sure enough, there it is. There's the plot of the movie a year later. That's what we got. So yes, Maxwell Lord is very cringeworthy. Every scene he was in. And for some reason, Wonder Woman 84 pulled a Jurassic Park Lost World on me. And here's a clip showing what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you see any family resemblance here?
Yes, they pulled a Jurassic Park Lost World on me. Do you see the resemblance between Maxwell Lord's son and him? It's something off about this. Look at the kid and look at him. Well, anyways, his son is Asian. I don't know how he's Asian, and Maxwell Lord is supposed to be, I don't know, and it's white, some type of Latin, I don't know. As far as Cheetah, I probably would say she's probably a little bit better than Maxwell Lord. At least they tried to build her up from being a sweet, caring young woman to a badass during the whole course of the movie. This movie actually, I don't know if anybody out there who's seen this movie, but I've seen it. So I've seen all the DC animated movies. This movie kind of reminds me of Wonder Woman Bloodlines, a movie that was released last year, animated film. Kind of reminds me of that also, in a certain type of way, because Wonder Woman pretty much is vulnerable in this movie, just like she is in Bloodlines. I think that's the name of the movie. Yeah, I think that is the name of the movie. Like I said, go back to the action scenes. Most of the action scenes was just whack. They just seemed not out of place, but just not very action. It's like they had a couple extra months to create better action scenes, and we still saw garbage. They just weren't there for me. They was very off-putting. And another thing that bothered me that actually my friends pointed out, because it was all in text messages in the group chat, watched this movie at the same time, actually, in different states. We all pointed out that all of a sudden, the invisible jet came along, and she can fly and all that other stuff. I don't know about all that. It seems like that's a big time. I don't know. Shouldn't she have... There was no mention of the invisibility in the movie previous movie she was in, like the first Wonder Woman, Justice League, and Batman vs Superman. Also, now they want to put that in. That's bad fan service right there. Bad fan service. I don't know. She should have knew how to fly before that. Before Justice League. I don't know. All of a sudden now she knows how to fly. She shouldn't know how to fly in Justice League. But she didn't fly in Justice League. That's the problem that happened with this film. Bad fan service. Bad writing all the way around throughout this whole just Wonder Woman's powers, basically. Because she should have been flying in Wonder Woman in Justice League in Batman vs Superman. But now she's flying in this movie, which takes 30 years before those two movies. Confusing, isn't it? What else? Weren't that many characters in there? There really weren't. But this movie actually did something that most superhero movies been doing a lot lately. That I'm glad it kind of didn't do. But I don't know what they're gonna do moving forward with this. But I won't spoil it too much. But yeah, a lot of superhero movies been doing this a lot lately to the villains when they come on screen. And by the end of the movie, well, you can figure it out. There was actually some things I did like about it. The story is about people wanting more and more, wanting to be better and more, not being good with what they got. That's basically the plot of the story. There was a little nod to I wouldn't say Batman, but it was more a nod to just the song-wise, because I think this movie is composed by, the movie soundtrack is composed by Hans Zimmer. And saying Hans Zimmer, they keep saying he retired from superhero movies, but keeps making more superhero movies, or composing more superhero movies. But it's kind of a nod to Batman vs Superman in this movie, towards the end, song-wise. What else happened in this movie? Right now I'm trying to gather where I'm gonna rate this movie. This movie, better yet, is underwhelming in some parts. It's not one of those movies that merely make you think and get you excited at all, like previous superhero movies have done. But I will say this. This is the second DCE movie that came out this year. I will say this, it's better than the other one that came out this year. Oh yeah, it's way better than Birds of Prey. At least this movie had a story and tried to do stuff without adding too much stupid agenda in it, like Birds of Prey did. Birds of Prey was other dog, bantha voodoo. At least Wonder Woman tried. I do give this movie that. But I will have to give this movie a 6 out of 10 because I just think some parts dragged a little bit too long and didn't really leave anybody wanting more. But there's a cameo, good cameo for any out there, for those Wonder Woman fans, old Wonder Woman fans out there. It's a good cameo towards the end. But it's just seemed like a lot of some retcons in there. Also, I don't know what they're gonna do going forward. I think they should stop putting Wonder Woman in the past and finally bring her to the present again. I'm trying to go back to the past all the time for movies. But yeah, 6 out of 10 I have to give this movie. Way better than the Birds of Prey. And like I said, it did have a plot. Not a good plot, but a plot that's understandable. Like everybody wants more all the time. And right now I want more subscribes, more likes, more shares. So give me that. Anybody who's seen this video for the first time, or seen one of my videos for the first time. And I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna watch Battlestar Galactica. I'm gonna start watching that. But with all that being said, that's my review for Wonder Woman 84. I got nothing else to say. So that being said, adios.